this is Christine with Cocoa Daisy, and I am going to share with you a bunch of stamping ideas and a stencil using the Sun Drenched collection. Got a bunch of ideas for you. We had a bunch of stamp sets this month, and in the creative kit, not only did we have this beautiful stamp set, but we have a stencil that goes with it. So I want to show you how you can do this. So I'm going to do a quick example stencil, and then I'll go through all of the fun ideas that you can do with this. So let's start. So what this is all about is layering. So you can obviously use the stamp sets on their own, like I did here. With the flower, I did that in a couple colors and turned it and layered it over top of each other, just stamped the leaves, did a little bit of the little ink splat on there, super fun. You can use it just as is. But if you want to kick it up another notch, you can do that using the stencil. And again, it's layering. So this one you can see where I did all three of them and I used the same color. Each time I did another layer, which made it a little bit more intense. So this is a very soft look, whereas this one is, I used two different colors with the stencil, and then I stamped in the third darker color. And the same idea with the leaves, you can stencil those and then stamp over top. So let me go through and show you this real quick. We're just gonna do one. Now, when you get your stencil, one of the things that you want to do is each time you use one, you want to either use some Post-it notes or some washi tape to kind of tape it off so you don't go into the other sections or off of your stencil, and I'll explain that in a minute. So here's a good example. On my test one, you can see where I was just playing around, I didn't tape it off. So then you get those lines because you've gone beyond your stencil. You don't want that on your finished product, so you want to tape it. A couple of different things that you can use. You can get a set of these. They're very inexpensive. You can get them from Amazon. There's different sizes, or you can get these as well. They have the same material as these. They're just even smaller, so you can do a little bit more detail. So it's entirely up to you, but I will try and link those down below as well. I got the larger pack simply because that way I'm going to just label these with the ink that I used and I don't have to clean them. You can clean them if you want, but I just figure it's easier for me to do it this way. So we are going to do this one right here. So I'm going to start with this one and I'll show you what I mean by taping off. So I'm going to tape here. And I'm going to tape this so that if I go over the edge, it doesn't go into the other stencil here. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. This stencil, I think, is far enough away where I won't get too crazy, where it should be all right. And I'm going to start with my lightest color, which is this Cheeky. And I just dab it in here like this, and not a lot of pressure, because you want to start out light and then you can build as you go. And you don't want to have a lot of lines. So you're just going to hardly any pressure. And you just keep working that around the entire stencil. So you can see where it makes it nice to have that taped off. You don't have to worry about making a mistake and going over. It's all taped off and it's easy to just kind of do. Now, if you want to add a little bit more dimension or some shadows, you can get very, very detailed with how you add your ink. Okay, but just play. Get a feel for how it works, how it layers, and just enjoy it and play with it, okay? So then that's the first layer. Then I'm going to take and do this next one, which is this one, and I'm going to turn that. Sorry if you just saw the top of my head. And I'm going to tape this down like that. And like I said, Post-it notes work great as well. If you don't want to use your washi tape, you can use Post-it notes. Now these are a little bit closer, so I'm going to actually get another piece on here as well and tape that off. Now I'm going to go the next color darker because I want this to have a little bit more contrast. So I'm going to go with this one and I'm just going to tap it. And remember, again, just very, very lightly start and then build on it, okay? And you'll get used to that. Like, that's why I say it's fun to just play, and you can play with different color combinations and have a lot of fun with this. They make beautiful cards. If you check out my project tutorials, you'll see I show a whole bunch of examples of what I did with cards and so on. I made a very pretty card with this. Okay, and carefully I'm going to pull that up. Okay, and then, so you see the layers, isn't that pretty? And then what I want to do is I'm going to actually stamp the flower. Let me show you. And I'm going to do this in the darkest color. So that's the raspberry. I'm going to lay that over top. Isn't that pretty? Now, the other thing I want to do is I want to add these little interior bits. So I'm going to lay that on there. And again, we're going to tape this off. I'm not being super precise because I'm just kind of wanting to hurry so that you don't have a super long video to watch. And we actually have a thunderstorm coming, so I'm trying to beat the thunderstorm. And now these you want a little bit darker, so I'm going to apply a little bit more and a little bit more pressure. And these stencils are super easy to clean. All you do is just a little soap and water, and that's it. So there you have it. Isn't that fun? And then the leaf you would do the same way. So the leaf, if we wanted to do, say, this smaller one, we'll just do one so I can show you. Again, tape it off because I don't want it to go all over. And this one, I'm going to use the citrine. And I have another. Put that on there. And again, just light. And you could do more than one color. If, like I said, if you wanted to do highlights, if you wanted to do some shadows, if you want to do some blending, would be really fun. It is entirely up to you and how crazy you want to go. So there's the leaf, and then all I need to do is take the other leaf stamp, and I'm going to do it in the gumdrop because I think that that's a nice contrast, and just lay that over it like that, and it just gives it, isn't that neat? I love the outlines. I love how kind of almost abstract. You can go as precise or abstract as you want. Isn't that pretty? So that is just a quick look at how you can use the stencil. And like I said, you can layer these all different combinations, and you can do the soft, you can do a little bit more of the contrast. There's 2 leaves in here, and then there's a larger set if you wanted to do for the interior of the flower. So that comes with this stamp set. I absolutely adore these ink blots, and I'll show you some more examples of how I used those. But one of the ways that you can group them with the stamp set from the scrapbooking kit is layering them like that. And they make, again, beautiful cards, or you can use them in your notebooks. I got a couple of examples of that. So there's a look at the flower. Now let's take a look at some of the other stamp sets. So we have the flower, we have the scrapbooking stamp set, we have the hydrate, which was part of the main planner. or the planner kit, sorry, the weekend banner set. This was part of the creative, or the deluxe journaling set, sorry. And then the alpha, it was part of the stamp sub. And you'll notice that there's no 0. That's because you're using the O for the 0, and the 6 is also the 9. That made it able for us to make these just a little bit bigger. So let's take a look at some of the ways that I used these. And you can see how you can layer the banners. Super fun. The hydrate, pretty self-explanatory, and I added that little bit of ink underneath. I thought that was cute. This one has this beautiful border, which you can make a complete border. You can do it in color with one of the sayings. Here I did it with the hummingbird. You can do the border in a color and then flip it and do it the other way. And then you can group the hummingbird with any of the sayings. They're super, super pretty. I love this relax, renew, refresh. I think that's so pretty. This little background, I love that. And I thought that was pretty behind some of the sayings as well, as I did the same thing again with that little ink splatter. I think that's so pretty. I did the little flower there with some of the sayings, grouped the flower and the hummingbird. So he's just so sweet, and he looks so pretty with all of those. So these would be great mixed in with journaling, using as die cuts, using on cards, in memory keeping. And then I want to show you, here is how, I mean, the alpha is pretty self-explanatory, right? It's an alpha. I mean, but I did want to show you how it looked stamped and how I took everything and grouped it together. So I did the border, I stamped the bloom, I added the Let the Sun Shine and the little hummingbird, and then some of the little ink splats. And how pretty would that be on a layout or on a journaling page or on a card or on a tag? It would be super cute on a tag or a little note card as well. But then I went through and I thought, okay, I want to show you some ideas on how you can use any of these stamps and just add a little something to, like, say, for instance, one of our notebooks. So I'm going to go through and show you. So the weekend banner down here by the Saturday and Sunday, super simple, just in black. The little hummingbird on the pages that have a little bit of black on them, I added him. Another idea, obviously just your hydrate, if you have that over on your weekly section with some of the little ink splats. And again, everything in the collection is designed to work together. So if you have one of our notebooks or our inserts, the stamps are all going to work just beautiful with it. Easy enough just to add one of the sayings, right? So if you do memory keeping or memory planning as well, super simple just to add some of that stuff, right? Just add a saying. This one here, Let the Sun Shine. I did that in black to go with the black outline of the florals, and it's absolutely perfect. You wouldn't even hardly know that I had stamped that. It goes so well. This one, I added some of the ink splatters on there in yellow and just added the little "Let us lay in the sun." I love that little saying, and I think that that's just kind of sweet. So you've just kind of decorated, you had some fun, but it doesn't take a lot, right? It doesn't, you want to do a little something creative, but you don't have a lot of time, or you just don't want to add a lot of bulk. Stamps are perfect. So I did the weekend across the top there, and I did relax, renew, refresh, repeat. So if you were going to journal about your weekend, how fun would that be? You have a nice relaxing weekend coming up. And then this one, I wanted to show you how you could take this little background and then turn that into a placeholder using some stickers for the days of the week. Isn't that pretty? You could go even further. You could get a whole week on here, use some skinny washi tape to divide it up, and have a whole week on there if you wanted to. This I just quick threw on here just to give you an idea of how pretty that layers with that little background stamp. And then this one, I did the, make sure that you can see that. Make sure I've got it actually in frame, right? You could see where I did the border along the bottom, and then I stamped "It was a good day and a fun time," and then I did the little hummingbird. And then the other thing that you could add on here if you wanted to is add a saying or a word. A date, you could do a date with the numbers, would be kind of pretty as well. And then I have one more where just down here where it said sunny days, I just added the solid banner in yellow. So just little things like that that you can add to your notebook, that you can add to your journaling, that you can add to a layout or a card, and have a lot of fun playing with those. I'm going to go through real quick the colors that I used as well. So we have those. So I used the fuchsia, the peony, the sea glass, sunshine, and then specifically for the floral, I did the citrine, the gumdrop, raspberry, cheeky, and rosy. So lots of colors this month, but this month is super, super colorful. And I hope that you take some time, get all of your stamps that you get, and just if you get the creative kit, please sit and play with that. It is a lot of fun. And I will try to link up these, like I said, down in the comments below for you. They're easy to use. I haven't played with these yet, but these I really like. I think these will be nice for these stencils like this that are a little more detailed. And I will tell you, I'm going to do some more of these stencils in the future because it's a lot of fun to play with. So those are the stamp sets and the stencil that we had with the Sun Drenched collection, and I hope you have fun with it.